Hi, I'm Ray Turner, and I totally agree with Karen. Nobody in their right mind would choose this journey that we guys are on, or us guys are on. It's not something that's pleasant. I was diagnosed on September the 4th, 2007, at approximately 11:30 in the morning. There are a couple of dates that I remember very well. That's one of them. And the day I was told I had prostate cancer was the other one. I can tell you the time of that one as well. There are certain things that stick into your memory. And the reason that I was diagnosed, my wife started telling me to stand up straight, stand up straight. And I kept saying, well, I'm standing up straight. But I wasn't. My head was bending down and bending down. And I didn't realize it obviously, but she did. And then I was doing some work at the house, peeling some wallpaper, and I couldn't get my left hand over my head. And if you're peeling wallpaper, you got to go up, and I can't get my right hand up now either. And I couldn't pull it down. So at this point, I began to get a little bit anxious. I went to my GP. He sent me to a physiotherapist. I was there for 3 weeks, but 4 times a week for 3 weeks, and that did absolutely nothing. I went to a physiatrist, and he did a whole series of tests and wouldn't give me any information. He said, go talk to your GP. My GP came and said, well, I've referred you to the ALS clinic at Sunnybrook. That scared me. I said, well, it was ALS neurological. So what I said was, the ALS doesn't exist. It's a neurological problem that I have, and therefore I just have a neck problem. Unfortunately, that was not true, as you know. The tests that Dr. Zimmerman and that were done here confirmed that unfortunately I had the disease. And before I was diagnosed with that, I just retired. I had the prostate cancer. I got over that. Everything was back to normal. I was starting to have some fun in life again. I joined a golf club. And the year before I was diagnosed, went out and was playing a significant amount of golf. The first year I played, believe it or not, 115 rounds. Practice does not make perfect in my case. And the next year, and I was curling. I was a very active curler. I was quite a good curler, actually. That was one of the things that happened to me. I'm curling, and I couldn't hit the broom. The skip would put the broom down, and I couldn't hit the damn thing. And I said, what's going on? My quality of curling is they expect me to hit the broom every time, and I was missing it almost all the time. That, again, there's another indication that I had a neck problem. Well, after I was diagnosed, and like this year, for example, I paid my fees at the club, and I have paid $5,000, and I'm getting to putt 18 holes a week. I can't drive, I can't chip, there's no way I can use an iron. The best I can do at this point is putt, walk the course and putt. Again, for those of you that are thinking of this, that's a very poor return on investment. The same way with curling, I had to give up curling. I didn't want to give up curling, but my wife basically said, you are going to give up curling. I don't want you out on the ice and falling with the loss of balance. Because in February the year, I lost the 3 front teeth, and I had them all replaced because I fell on the ice. So she wouldn't allow me on the ice this year. So I've had a whole complete change in my retirement strategy. From golfing and curling and being part of the man-to-man prostate cancer group support group, to say, okay, I can't do the golf and curling. What do I do? And at that point, I was reading a couple of brochures that the ALS Society of Ontario put out, and I didn't like them. They told me in 10 sentences, they told me I was going to die 5 times. And I said, wait a minute, guys, this is just a little bit too much for me. Don't you think you can give us a little bit of hope? We know we got ALS, we know we're going to die, but you don't need to shove it down my throat. Maureen, to give her due, called up and said, well, if you want to change, why the hell don't you do something about it? And I said, okay, I will. So I went in and I started volunteering with the ALS. And all I can tell you at this particular point, one of the greatest joys, and I use that word advisedly, one of the greatest joys of life that I'm having at the moment is I'm getting to talk to guys and girls that have got ALS. And that is where I've gotten, from my own personal point of view, the greatest strength that I've had. I've learned more because I listen to the guys that tell me how they've adapted to various things that are going on. I've watched Ed, and he'll do his thing in a minute, with a voice problem and how he has communicated, and it is wonderful to see the technology that he has adapted and is doing. This guy beside me, he's the guy that gives me a kick in the ass every now and then if I get too depressed, and he's kept me on the straight and narrow. And the only thing that I've decided and I've insisted upon, I allow myself 2 hours of depression a week. After that, I'm still depressed. Joe's the poor bugger has got to get me out of it. But that's the total extent of the time that I'm going on. I am not going to be depressed. I know I'm going to die. I know what's going to win. But I have battles with ALS every day. Now, you may not like the way I'm dressed today, because quite frankly, you can't tuck my shirt in. That's why I'm not trying to do a new style here. It's just I can't do the damn thing up at the back. But, I got all the buttons down. Now, that's amazing. The fact is, I can't get the top button of my pants done up. You don't know that because but I got the fly done up, so that's it. So, and I consider those battles that I won against this damn disease. So, and I basically try to approach this every morning that way. Is it taking me a bit longer? Yeah, it does. Karen's right. I mean, for me to get to a shower and shaved and dressed, I plan an hour now. And to get here at 8 o'clock, I had to get up at 5 o'clock this morning in order to go through the process. No big deal. I don't give a damn about that. I mean, I can live with that. But the key is I'm learning how to adapt to the changing environment that I'm in. And the hardest thing I had to adapt to, it will in all probability become more difficult as time goes by, but the hardest thing I had was accepting the fact that I had ALS. That was difficult. I was absolutely totally pissed off at the world for 4 months. I was infuriated that I'm sitting here with a fatal disease. And it was a 4-month challenge for me before I finally accepted the reality that, yeah, I do have a disease. It's unfortunate. I got to the stage where I said to myself, this could be pancreatic cancer and I'd be dead in 6 months. This could be anything, any other disease, or lung cancer for that matter. It could be any disease that you want. The fact that it's ALS and it's got a not very pleasant way to die, but the fact of the matter remains, that's the way we're going, and accepting it, and then starting to adapt to it and make life, I'm to the point now where I can, many days, I go home and say, I had fun today. And I figured that, I've got over the worst hurdle, which is being depressed and depressing all those people around me, to being happy and making people around me happy. And I would consider that is the biggest challenge that I've had. And so far, I've been successful. There's more challenges to come, I know that. There's guys sitting in wheelchairs. I haven't sat in a wheelchair yet, and I don't know how to do it with legs that are going to be a problem. My legs are starting to go, and I know I'm going there. And I know I'll have to adapt to that challenge. My hope is that I can do it. But anyway, that's my story.